Welcome back, everyone. So today we have a seriously fascinating explainer lined up for you. We're diving right into a space where thousands of years of ancient tradition literally crash headfirst into the modern digital age. We're looking at a platform called the Amma Sanskrita Patashala. Now, if you've ever wondered how ancient Vedic sciences, traditional priesthood training, or even classical languages like Sanskrit are surviving in this era of smartphones and high-speed internet, well, this is exactly what you need to dive into. Because it's not just about preservation, it's about active, vibrant adaptation. The contrast between these two worlds perfectly captures the core dynamic we're unpacking today. Think about it. You've got a deeply traditional curriculum. We're talking Sanskrit, the incredibly complex architectural principles of Vastu, and rigorous archaka or priest training. For centuries, right, these were taught almost exclusively in secluded temples or maybe under a tree in a gurukul. But today, this exact same ancient wisdom is being delivered through online batches, digital admissions, and virtual Zoom consultations. It's honestly a remarkable bridge across time.
Okay, let's dive into this and map out our digital tour of the Patashala. First up, we'll look at the Digital Spiritual Academy. Then, we'll break down their classes and consultations, see how they're fostering a chanting community, check out the daily rhythm of their Bhagavad Gita wisdom, and finally, look at their growth and franchising model. Section 1. The Digital Spiritual Academy, blending the old with the new. So it's absolutely crucial to understand that Amma Sanskrita Patashala isn't just some static website listing a few local services. Not at all. They've built a comprehensive digital academy, and they are specifically targeting opposite ends of the age spectrum. On one hand, you've got summer Sanskrit classes for children, which, let's be honest, is a brilliant way to introduce this rich heritage early on during school breaks. But then, on the other hand, they offer spiritual astrology and Sanskrit courses specifically tailored for senior citizens that clearly recognize that learning ancient wisdom is a lifelong pursuit, and they're using modern digital framing to make these texts accessible and appealing to both an 8-year-old and an 80-year-old. Section 2. Classes and Consultations, a hub of traditional knowledge.
Now, what's really interesting about their curriculum is the sheer volume of subjects. It's impressive, and they perfectly organize this massive array of services into two distinct pillars. The first pillar, language and priesthood. This covers Sanskrit, home tuitions, and archika classes. This side is entirely focused on linguistics, ritual, and preserving the exact, precise mechanisms of ancient ceremonies. Then you have the second pillar, which dives into Vedic sciences, astrology, numerology, palmistry, and Vastu. By separating the predictive and environmental sciences from the ritualistic practice, they're essentially training both the practitioners and the spiritual consultants of tomorrow.
And how do you actually access all this knowledge? Entirely online. Whether you're booking a spot in their June batch for Sanskrit classes or setting up a Vastu consultation with the Guruji over Zoom, it's all digital. But here's the kicker. Amidst all these virtual services, they're also distributing physical, highly traditional items. Like, you can get a Panchamukhi Rudrak Shamala shipped directly from Nepal. You're literally clicking a button online to have a sacred artifact from the Himalayas sent right to your front door. How wild is that? Section 3. Fostering a chanting community beyond the classroom. It's one thing to just offer classes, but it is a whole different ballgame to build an active, engaged community. The Patashala actually pulls this off through a highly effective, almost gamified approach, chanting competitions. They set up competitions around incredibly specific, complex chants. We're talking the Hanuman Chalisa, the Ramaraksha Stotra, the Vishnu and Lalita Sahasranamas, and the Sri Raghavendra Daridrya Mochana Stotra. It's a really brilliant strategy because it creates a real incentive for rigorous daily practice. It takes solitary memorization, which can be tough, and turns it into a shared community event, making sure these distinct verbal traditions are actively and accurately spoken out loud by the next generation. Section 4. Daily Bhagavad Gita Wisdom, the Rhythm of the Patashala. So the daily heartbeat of this platform is rooted in some serious discipline. We can see an uninterrupted day-by-day progression happening from April 29th through May 4th of 2026. On April 29th, they post Chapter 7, Shloka 28 of the Bhagavad Gita. Then they follow up the very next day with Shloka 29, and then Shloka 30, which wraps up the chapter. And without missing a single beat, on May 2nd, they dive straight into Chapter 8, continuing with Shlokas 2 and 3 in the following days. For anyone following along, this creates such a powerful, consistent daily habit of micro-learning ancient scripture, literally verse by verse. And they present this knowledge so beautifully, utilizing the original Kannada script for these daily posts.
It's untranslated, it's authentic. This specific entry from May 2nd, 2026, actually announces the beginning of the 8th chapter. It presents that very first shloka, where Arjuna asks those profound questions about the nature of Brahman and karma. By faithfully posting the original script, the Patashala is essentially acting as a daily digital archivist, keeping the original language vividly, vibrantly alive in our modern era.
Section 5. Growth and Franchising. Expanding the Mission.
Now, beyond the education side of things, the Patashala is actually a highly organized enterprise with some serious ambitions for scale. Case in point, in June of 2026, the platform put out an official public call actively hiring Sanskrit teachers. And honestly, that is a massive indicator of health. Think about it. You only put out a public call for hiring when the demand for your classes completely outpaces your current supply of teachers. It is tangible, undeniable proof that their digital model is not just working, it's expanding. Let's move along and see how this builds, because hiring is really just the beginning. They've built this complete, step-by-step pipeline for community involvement. It starts with a very clear escalation of commitment. Step 1 is super simple. Join as a volunteer. Give a bit of your time. Step 2, donate to a good cause. Then Step 3 gets a bit more serious. Partner or invest with them. And then Step 4, this is where it gets truly fascinating for a traditional institution. Apply for a franchise. By offering franchise opportunities at the district and taluk levels, they are taking this hyper-local grassroots approach to scaling an ancient educational model. They are literally using the exact same franchising concepts you would see in a modern corporate business. So what does this all mean? We've just seen how Amma Sanskrita Patashala takes millenniums-old knowledge, stuff like Sanskrit, Vastu, complex chanting, the Bhagavad Gita, and successfully injects it right into the modern world. They're doing it through online classes, daily digital rhythms, and even local franchising. And it leaves us with a pretty profound thought to ponder today. As technology continues to accelerate at breakneck speed, how will digital platforms continue to shape, preserve, and maybe even evolve the future of traditional Vedic education? I mean, is it possible that the digital age will end up being the greatest preserver of ancient wisdom we've ever seen? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you next time.